Everybody knows Paper X are now world champions, and even though sacrifices had to be made along the way, they've proven they have the talent, the chemistry, and the fire to win it all. But despite all of the wins, and finally getting a Masters trophy, there's still one puzzle they can't seem to solve. Welcome to snstry, the channel where we talk about world champions who still somehow find a way to suffer. To really understand the problem, we need to rewind a bit. Paper X has had a few major shakeups over the years, but nothing hit harder when Jinggg left right after their loss to evil geniuses on the biggest stage. It felt like the end of an era. They needed to move forward without him, and they brought in Monyet and pushed on. But it only took them so far. But like fate throwing them a bone, Jinggg came back and PRX dove headfirst into their second honeymoon phase. They won Pacific Stage 1 in 2024 with all 5 players landing in the top 20. It really felt like the boys were back. They were favorites to finally bring the Pacific its first international trophy at Master Shanghai. But as we already know, fate had other plans. Yes, the trophy went to Pacific, but just not into PRX's hands. Instead, it went to Gen.G. From Champions 2024 into the early stretches of this year's Pacific Stage 1, PRX were on a slow but steady decline. There was no train back then, just Paper X plummeting like a meteor falling way too fast. But with Batman's help, the team found its rhythm again, fought their way out of Pacific, and eventually won Masters Toronto. But through all the highs and lows, no matter how strong they've become, one thing hasn't changed. Since Stage 1 of 2024, there's been a shadow they can't shake, a code they still can't crack, the kind of opponent that makes every game feel like deja vu. And the name behind that code? Gen.G. And you might say I'm overreacting, but it's been 5 matches since Paper X last beat Gen.G. That's 4 straight losses, 2 full seasons, 9 tournaments, and a couple of roster changes. It doesn't matter who's calling, who's playing, or how much momentum PRX has. Every time they run into Gen.G, the story ends the same way. Gen.G always finds a way to cook them. This is a late addition to the video, but yeah, I know Gen.G is out, so this matchup won't be happening for a while. But there's just something about this rivalry that gets me, and maybe you too. So if you want to find out how I think Paper X can finally break this curse, then stay tuned. And I know what you're thinking. What is it about Gen.G that shuts them down every single time? Well, that's also the question I've been obsessed with. So I went back all the way to Stage 1 of last year, watched every match, every map, every round, trying to figure out if it's the aim, the strats, the pace, or some deeper mental edge that Gen.G has and PRX still can't figure out. Still clutching with crusty mouse pads?
Brother,
Polish just dropped anime-themed pads, smooth glide, stitched edges, and yeah, free shipping. Links down below. So, let's start with the losses first. Map 1 of their Pacific Stage 2 semifinal last year. Yeah, it's a semifinal match, but PRX had the audacity to pick Harbor on Ascent, like it's some kind of secret weapon. The moment I saw that, I closed the VOD as fast as I could. I didn't check the stats, didn't need to. I don't know about you, but I think Harbor on Ascent is horrible. And Gen.G isn't the kind of team to get blindsided by an out-of-pocket pick like that. And if some tier 1 team has ever made a Harbor on Ascent work, man, they're automatically goated.
what the hell?
And then map 2 was PRX's pick on Icebox. They started strong with the pistol round, but then Texture's anti-eco aggression in round 2 caught them slipping.
That's outrageous.
From there, PRX never found their footing, only having 7 full buys out of 18 rounds. One mistake, and Gen.G ran away with it. And that's the thing with Gen.G. You can't give them an opening, because they can take the whole map with it. And the wild part, PRX got out aggressed. That almost never happens unless, you know, they're playing against another cracked Pacific team. So moving on to the next, their Radiant Asia Invitational matchup. All 3 maps went the distance, so even for an off-season match, you know both teams were locked in. It's always fun competing against your rivals after all. So, map 1 on Haven was tight, but in OT, it all came down to patience and clutch reads. Not sure if Forsaken was solely IGLing at that point, but you could tell the calling gap was real. Map 2 on Abyss was another nail-biter, But PRX took it thanks to their trademark aggression mixed with some slick fakes here and there. On the last map of Split, PRX started strong and looked set to close it out. But Gen.G's ability to read the opponent and match aggression even on ecos or broken buys is otherworldly. They clawed their way back, and in the end, PRX fell because something was on something. He was on pure W gaming mode, charging forward even in disadvantageous rounds. Next matchup is this year's Pacific Stage 1. Map 1 on Lotus was relatively close, but in the end, Gen.G had a bit of everything. Better reads, sharper mechanics, well-timed aggression, patience in the late rounds, smarter mid-rounding, and of course, better aim.
Finds texture, but still the sprays from Karen over. He shrouded steps way past it.
On the next map of Fracture, PRX ran the show, but on map 3, it was the complete opposite. Gen.G steamrolled them 13-4 and PRX had no answers. Lastly, in their most recent clash at Masters Toronto, map 1 on Ascent started rough. PRX were down 4-8 on defense, they closed the gap on attack, but Gen.G stayed composed, played the map right, and let their mechanics and fundamentals seal the win. Map 2 on Icebox was a straight up demolition. PRX couldn't crack Gen.G's defense and got 0-2'd without Gen.G breaking a sweat. So, if you've been paying attention, there's a common thread running through all of these matches. Gen.G's mid-round reads, shutting down PRX's momentum, and the constant flip between matching and punishing aggression. So to answer the question earlier, what is it about Gen.G that shuts PRX down every single time? In terms of aim, that's a coin flip. Both teams have insane firepower, and some days it just comes down to who's got the hot hand. So it's not that. You might say strats, but that's prep dependent. Some maps PRX nails the read, other days Gen.G flips the script and runs the show. But when it comes to reading the opponent, here's where the gap starts to show. Gen.G as a team is just sharper at recognizing patterns and spotting gaps mid-game. And when they get a read, Munchkin knows exactly how to play off it. That decision making turns those reads into round wins, and you see it over and over whenever they face PRX. Meanwhile, PaperX is more of a steamrolling, ego-peaking, risk-taking, chaos-making, W-gaming kind of a team. Once they get going, good luck stopping them. The problem though is, against Gen.G, that train keeps hitting a wall. Gen.G simply don't crack under the pressure. They don't let PRX's W-gaming set the tempo. In fact, they can control it or even match it beat for beat. If you go back and watch some of their games, they usually go on runs after a timeout. They flip the momentum, drag PRX into unfamiliar territory, and suddenly the chaos is dialed down to 0. And if these two end up meeting in the playoffs, we're in for one hell of a clash in styles. The funny thing about this is that PaperX never even faced Gen.G at the playoffs of Masters Toronto, which honestly might have been a blessing in disguise. Who knows what could have happened if they had to face their nightmare matchup on that stage. So now, the real question becomes, how does PaperX actually beat Gen.G? And to figure that out, there's nothing better to look at than the time they took down Gen.G at the Pacific Stage 1 finals last year. The stakes were sky high as the title of Pacific's Best was on the line, so if we're trying to solve this puzzle, then we might just find the answer here. And some of the things that I've noticed are the following. Jingg's aggressiveness will be pivotal, but that doesn't mean charging in every round. It's about timing, picking the exact moment to hit Gen.G when they least expect it. With the right prep and sharp calls from the IGL, those openings will be there, and Jinggg can make them count. Map picks and bans could be PRX's hidden weapon. Sunset is basically a free win for them with an 82% win rate. Corrode is also an option. Gen.G may be undefeated there, but they've left plenty of footage to counter strat. On the flip side, Haven should be insta-banned. Gen.G is so dangerous on that map. And if it comes down to it, throw them on bind. Neither team has it fully figured out yet, so it could turn into a raw slugfest to see who adapts faster. But ultimately, I think it's going to come down to one thing. Can Forsaken and the boys match the way Gen.G reads other teams? Right now, Munchkin and the crew have the edge. They're masters at reading their opponents. They always seem to have the perfect counter ready, and Munchkin is the type of IGL who will instantly exploit any opening you give him. So can PRX finally break the Gen.G curse? Honestly, I'm not sure. PaperX feels like a team that focuses more on running their game than on dissecting the other teams. But if, and it's a big if, Forsaken reaches the next level where he can read the enemy like Gen.G does while unleashing the signature chaos, man, just end the season right there. The code is broken and PaperX will be your 2025 champs. Okay, so some of you might be wondering why I even made this video when the odds of a PaperX versus Gen.G playoff matchup are so slim. And to keep it simple, I'm just fascinated by how PRX steamrolled everyone at Toronto, yet Gen.G keeps beating them every single time. It's crazy. It's like Gen.G's got the blueprint to derail the train on command. And you gotta admit, whenever these two face off, it's absolute cinema. Anyway, leave a like if you enjoyed, hit that sub button so you don't miss out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.